If you are looking to maximize your points, one of the best ways to do that is to book first-class flights. But finding the award space for nice international first-class cabins is exponentially harder than finding award space for business class. So in today's video, I'm going to share the techniques that we use for finding first-class award space for our one-on-one clients. And if you are looking to get more out of your points, come join our free live training by registering at geobreezetravel.com/webinar. This free training is not recorded, it's just exclusive content for anybody who's able to join live. And if you miss it, you miss out. Again, you can register at geobreezetravel.com/webinar. All right, let's talk about Emirates First Class, which is the first class that most people think about when they think about glamorous first class flights that they want to experience. So you're not going to book this directly through Emirates. There's usually a lot more availability there, but if you want to save some points when flying from North America over to Dubai, check out Qantas instead. Because with Emirates, you're probably paying 163.5 thousand points per person one way, but you can find a lot of the same flights with Qantas for a little bit less. It'll be, let's round up and say 150,000 points per person one way from North America over to Dubai with Emirates First Class. So here's how you'll find these. You're going to go to seats.aero and then click on Qantas Frequent Flyer. I have the Pro version, so I'm going to search full year. If you want to grab some first class flights, I highly recommend doing that because it's just going to open up so much more room for you to find stuff. But a lot of these that we'll go over in today's video do show up last minute, so if you want to practice with the free version where you can search 60 days out, that's cool too. All right, so under here where you see airlines that you can filter on, filter down to Emirates. And then in the search bar, type in DXB for Dubai, then filter down to first class. And then here, let's search for this one, JFK over to Dubai. Should be 149,000 points plus $834 in taxes and fees. So what we'll do next is go to Qantas. Then we're going to search JFK to Dubai on that date we found on seats.aero, July 23rd. Checkbox rewards, one way, one adult, and we can say we're flexible with dates. Then go ahead and click on search flights. And where it says cabin over here, we are going to filter to first class. And here we see seats are nearly gone, but it is the Emirates first class flight from JFK over to Dubai. And this one is the A380, which is the one with the shower. So whenever people want to fly Emirates first class, this is usually the plane that they are looking for. Now, this flight, if you were just going to pay for it out of cash because you're super rich or something, from New York to Dubai on the date that we found, this is the 11 p.m. flight. So it is $16,531 on Google Flights, which is crazy. And that means since it's so expensive, you're probably going to get a very high cents per point redemption as well. So the way we'll calculate this is we'll take 16,531 minus the taxes and fees and divide that whole thing by the points price. And if we do that, this comes out to about 10.5 cents per point, which is more than respectable. So sometimes you can find better deals for Emirates flights by booking through Qantas. But where would you search if you wanted to find a Qantas first class flight? That tutorial is coming up next. So now we've talked about using Qantas to book something like Emirates, but what if you actually want to fly on Qantas first class itself? That is very difficult to do, but here's how to do it. You're not going to search through Qantas. You're actually going to search through Alaska. So on seats.aero, I'm going to click on Explore and then Alaska. And then I'm going to show the full year of availability from North America to anywhere. Alternatively, you can filter this from North America to Australia or from Australia to anywhere. And then for airlines, I'm going to filter this down to just Qantas and then sort by first class. There is one date available. This first class flight is one of the most difficult things to book on award tickets. So if you successfully book yourself on Qantas first class, congratulations. You win some kind of points and miles trophy because this one's tough. But today we got lucky. There is availability from Los Angeles over to Sydney. It's 130,000 points per person one way, and there is one ticket left. So if you want to book this, you would go to Alaska Airlines, search one way using miles from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia on May 4th, and then just search for one adult, then click Find Flights. Then you'll scroll down and can confirm This still exists at the time that I'm searching for this flight, where it's 130,000 miles plus $45 in taxes and fees, one seat left from Los Angeles over to Sydney, where you could use Alaska miles or transfer Amex points to Hawaiian to Alaska. This is an incredible deal because if we look at the regular sticker price of this flight on Google Flights, Los Angeles to Sydney on May 4th with Qantas first class is $14,471. The Points Path Chrome plugin suggests booking it through Qantas, where it's available for 163,000 points, but we found something a little bit better than that, where with Alaska Airlines, it is 130,000 miles. And if we plug all of those numbers into the cents per point formula, where it's a sticker price of $14,471, taxes and fees are $45, and the points price is 130,000 points, that comes out to a cents per point valuation of 11 cents per point. If you're in the market for a new card to earn more points to fly like this, but you're not sure what card to get, we offer free credit card consultations at geobreezetravel.com/consultations. We'll send you personalized recommendations based on your particular goals, budget, and lifestyle. This next tutorial is for all you last-minute people. It's a great route that can routinely get you more than 15 cents per point. Here is how to find award space with Lufthansa First Class. Up next, we're going to talk about Lufthansa First Class and how to book this one. This one is for all of you people who like to wait until the very last minute to book your flights, since the Lufthansa First Class availability tends to be made available more so last minute. And we're not going to book this directly through Lufthansa. I don't think I've ever booked anything directly through them. What you're going to do instead is go to seats.aero, and under Tools, you're going to click on the Lufthansa First Class Finder. Then here, you're going to sort by first class lowest, and we see a few different options from the United States, from JFK or Boston over to Frankfurt for 90,000 points per person one way in Lufthansa First Class. And this is bookable through Airplan. A lot of the same flights can be found for 165,000 points with United, or there are some other ones where it's 100,000 points with Airplan from either San Francisco, Chicago, Denver, Mexico City, or a few other options. But for this one, let's go ahead and check Boston to Frankfurt on February 23. And I completely realized that by the time you view this video, that date will have passed. So you're not going to search for that specific day. This is just the process of how you would find these flights. So once you've locked down a route and date, you're going to go over to Air Canada. You're going to search one way for one person, book with Airplan points from Boston to Frankfurt on February 23rd, then go ahead and click search. And here we see there's actually 2 seats left in first class from Boston to Frankfurt, and for each ticket it's 90,000 points plus 80 Canadian dollars. If we were to look up the sticker price of this flight on Google Flights, Boston to Frankfurt on February 23rd in first class with Lufthansa, the sticker price is $14,683, and PointsPath is actually saying you should book this via United, but I think that's because this isn't recognizing that there's even better availability through Air Canada. So you can get a pretty high valuation on this one, because if the sticker price is more than $14,000, taxes are pretty low, that's 80 Canadian, and then points are 90,000 points. You're gonna get a little bit more than 16 cents per point, and I say a little bit more because right here I'm too lazy to convert Canadian dollars into US dollars, but let's say it's 70. It's gonna make a negligible amount given that the taxes are so low compared to the rest of the sticker price. But the point is that you will get more than 16 cents per point with this, which is fantastic. If you're enjoying these free step-by-step tutorials, please let me know. Click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for even more points and miles tips every week. Up next is a first-class flight that goes under most people's radar, but if you fly this, you get to experience probably the best lounge in the world. Next, we are going to talk about Qatar First Class. This one is not easily accessible from the United States, so you're probably going to have to fly outside of the United States if you want to connect through Qatar on this one. It's not mentioned very often because, frankly, most people just prefer to fly their business class product, which is Q Suites. But in case you do want to fly Qatar First Class in or out of Doha, there is a very special reason that some people want to fly this, and that is so that they get access to the Al Safwa Lounge, which pretty much looks like a museum. I have not been to this lounge yet, but I hear it is the nicest lounge in the world with table service and just the nicest decor. They have beds because so many of the flights will land at 10 p.m. and connect at 1 a.m. or something the next morning. So they have different beds that you can rent out in private rooms and take a nap for up to 6 hours. So if you want to fly on Qatar Airways first class so that you can access this lounge and also fly this very nice flight product, there's a few different cities that you can route through. If you just Google Qatar first class routes, you'll find lots of articles that talk about this. You could go to London, Paris, Bangkok, Sydney, and a few other ones. For today's tutorial, we're going to search between Doha and Bangkok, and the way that you would book this is not directly through Qatar, but rather through American Airlines. So once again, I'm going to use seats.aero for this. I'm going to click Explore, American Airlines, expand to the full year, and then search from Asia to Asia. And under Airlines, I'm going to filter this to just have the Qatar Airways flights. I'm going to click on the down arrow next to first class, and then type BKK in the search bar so that it shows me just the flights between Doha and Bangkok. And here we see for the direct flight, it's 50,000 points plus about $40 in taxes and fees for Qatar Airways first class between Doha and Bangkok. Let's search for this flight, which is going to be on April 10 on the American Airlines website. So here we'll go to aa.com, click one way, redeem miles from Doha to Bangkok for one person on April 10, and then go ahead and click search. There is one seat left from Doha to Bangkok on this nonstop 7-hour flight. It's 50,000 points plus about $40 in taxes and fees. And if we were to price out the sticker price of this flight on Google Flights, this is the one that is departing at 8:30 a.m. So here it is $4,178 according to Google Flights, and the Points Path plugin recommends booking this through American Airlines instead, where it is 50,000 points plus $39. If we plug all of these numbers into the cents per point formula, then we'll see that this redemption would yield a cents per point of about 8.3, which is fantastic. Our last walkthrough puts a bunch of these different techniques together to book a first class flight that people have been raving about, but it's a tough one to find availability for. If you're interested in leveling up your points and miles game and getting even more free trips and upgrades, we have a couple of options for you. The first one is the GeoBreeze Travel Patreon, which you can join starting at just $5 per month through patreon.com/GeoBreezeTravel. Each month, we prepare personalized step-by-step tutorials for the routes that our members request. We also provide open forum group coaching where you can ask any questions that you have about points, miles, and credit cards in general. And we talk through some of the tips and tricks that I don't really mention on social media. And if you are looking to get even more free trips with points, and you're a business owner or individual who spends more than $100,000 per year on credit cards, we typically save our clients $30,000 to $60,000 in travel in the first 6 to 12 months of working with our one-on-one team. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, book a free intro chat with us at geobreezetravel.com/intro call to learn more. Okay, let's talk about how to find award space with Japan Airlines First Class. Okay, in this tutorial, we are going to combine a lot of the different techniques that we've learned from the other tutorials in this video so far. This one is going to be for Japan Airlines First Class, which is a very aspirational product, especially if you can get into one of their newer cabins, which looks like this. So in order to find availability, seats.aero makes this pretty easy as well, where under tools, they have a Japan Airlines First Class finder as well. The ideal situation for somebody based in the United States is if you can find availability from New York over to Tokyo, and it would only be 80,000 points bookable through American Airlines for Japan Airlines First Class. However, We don't always strike lightning like we did with that Qantas first class flight, because today, as I search for this, there is not currently any availability from the US over to Japan for 80,000 points in first class. That's kind of just how the game of points and miles works, is you have to check every so often. It's not always just going to be there when you need it to be there. But what we do see is if you're willing to position over to Europe and fly from France over to Japan, that's 90,000 points for first class. So they have plenty of availability between either France and Japan or Helsinki and Japan. So let's pick one of these dates. Let's just pick this first one from Charles de Gaulle over to Haneda on March 6th for 90,000 points, and it looks like they have 2 seats available. So we're going to go to aa.com, search one way, redeem miles, CDG to Haneda. Let's search for 2 passengers on March 6th, then click search. And here we see there are 2 seats left. From Paris over to Tokyo, 13.5 hours nonstop, for 90,000 points plus $181 in taxes and fees for first class Japan Airlines. This is on the Boeing 777, so if you are curious about what that plane looks like, it is the older model rather than the newer one, but still a very good deal. Because when we look at the sticker price on Google Flights for this exact flight, the sticker price is $9,637. But instead, like we saw with Seats.Aero, PointsPath is saying we should book this for 90,000 American Airlines miles plus $182 in taxes and fees. Because when you pop all those numbers into the cents per point formula, this one yields 10.5 cents per point as well, which is great. I hope you found those tutorials useful. Please let me know what other first class products you would like for us to cover on this channel. And if you're trying to get more out of your points, I think you'll enjoy this video next.